Revenge of the Turkeys by Richard D. Morris. Illustrations by Jeff Slemons. In the small town of Parker, there lived a boy named Austin. It was fall, the leaves were changing color, the air was getting colder, and it was Thanksgiving break. Parker was a great town to grow up in, where everyone was friendly and enjoyed Thanksgiving. Each day on the way to school, Austin and Nick passed by the old man Grumpy's turkey's farm, where 1,000 turkeys lived in a pen. Nick asked his friend Austin, "What are they going to do with all those turkeys?" "Why, eat them, of course," said Austin. "But don't they know the terrible fate that awaits them?" Nick asked. "Well, right now all they know is they get free food every day," said Austin. "We must save them," shouted Nick. "Save them?" asked Austin. "Yeah," said Nick. "As easily as they are led to the food, they will be led to their doom." "The turkeys must revolt," said Nick. "Revolt," said Austin. The two kids came home from school, and after their homework was finished, they thought about how they were going to train 1,000 turkeys into a highly trained fighting machine. Turkeys don't have arms and are fat from eating all day. How will we make 1,000 uniforms? Austin thought to himself. The next day, Austin and Nick went out to the farm. "We could use coconut shells for helmets and cut them in half," Nick said. "Great idea," said Austin. At first, the turkeys started to peck at the coconut shells. "Stop pecking," said Nick, as the birds continued to peck. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving, and school was out. Not much time to organize a bunch of turkeys into an army, they thought. So Austin and Nick rode their bikes down to the turkey farm. "Gobble, gobble, gobble," was the sound the turkeys made. "Hello, turkeys," Austin said. "Nick and I have come to save you." "Gobble, gobble, gobble," said the turkeys, with no idea of what these kids were trying to say. "Your fate is not a good one. Your time is limited, and unless you organize into a fighting turkey army, you'll be doomed to the dinner table." Gobble, gobble, peck, peck. Austin and Nick stood before 1,000 turkeys, none of which seemed to be the least bit interested in what they had to say. "How do we get their attention?" Nick asked. "Food," Austin replied. "They follow the food." So Austin scooped up some turkey food, and Nick opened the gate. Gobble, gobble. The turkeys marched out 2 by 2, 1,000 turkeys in coconut helmets. Bandit the dog helped keep the turkeys in line. It was decided the training camp would be located next to the old tree fort, not far away. The epic march of the turkeys was quite a sight to see, but as the turkey army approached Dead Man's Cliff, instead of stopping, the turkeys hobbled and wobbled over the edge. 2 by 2, the birds marched right over the edge. "Stop!" screamed Austin, but the turkeys just kept on marching. "Stop, you dumb turkeys!" Nick yelled. Austin pointed out that turkeys don't speak English. Splat, smash, crash, gobble. Austin and Nick finally got the birds to stop, but half of them were already gone, smashed on the rocks below. "The great turkey revolt must continue," Nick shouted, as the army of birds approached Parker Lake. "This time we'll be ready for them," Austin said. "I have the food that will lead them away from the lake," said Austin. But the turkeys had already eaten so much food that they were not hungry, and they continued to march right into the lake. Gobble, gobble, gurgle, bubble, and bubble, went the birds as they continued to march underwater. Austin shouted, "You turkeys are not very smart." In time, Austin, Nick, and Bandit ran in front of the birds and finally got them to turn around. "Nick, this time we lost all but 10 of the turkeys," said Austin in a sad voice. "These birds are so dumb they deserve to be eaten," Austin proclaimed. But Austin and Nick would not give up their mission to save the turkeys. "Revolt! Revolt! The turkeys must revolt!" they sang as they marched, the birds to the tree fort for more training. As they came upon the tree fort, it started to rain. "Let's leave the turkeys here, and we'll climb into the treehouse." "Hurry," said Austin. So Austin and Nick climbed up the ladder into the treehouse to stay dry. As the rain fell, it hit the turkeys' coconut helmets, making an unfamiliar sound. When the birds looked up to see what the noise was, their mouths filled with rain. The birds choked on the rainwater and fell over. This left only 4 birds. When the rain stopped, Austin and Nick came out of the tree fort, only to find a bunch of turkeys laying on the ground. "What happened?" asked Austin. Bandit the dog knew, but wasn't talking. "This was hardly our 1,000-bird army we started with, too," Austin thought to himself. "But these 4 remaining are the best of the best. Super turkeys," said Nick. "Whatever," Austin sighed. So the training continued. They marched the turkeys, trained them in karate, and the use of weapons. All this training was too much for one bird, and it fell over. Bandit the dog was hungry, so he decided to eat it for lunch. "Yum, I like turkey," said Bandit. "This left only 3 turkeys," Austin said. The great turkey army was defeated without a shot, and they decided to return home. On the way home, the highly trained fighting turkeys followed the kids. One of the turkeys was hit by a truck while crossing Parker Road. Spluck went the turkey under the truck tires. 2 turkeys left. "These birds are dumber than rocks," Austin screamed. "Don't they know to look both ways before crossing the street?" Austin and Nick decided to carry the birds home to keep them out of trouble. "These birds are not very smart, and they should be locked up in a pen." "Isn't that where we got them from?" Austin asked. Austin arrived home and walked into the house carrying 1 large super turkey. "Austin, you brought us a turkey," Austin's mother said with joy. Mom was so happy with Austin for saving Thanksgiving. Dad said the entire town of Parker had a turkey shortage for some reason, and most families couldn't have a turkey for Thanksgiving. "You're the best, Austin. We love you." "Thanks, Dad," said Austin. "Let's eat." The end.